All right, forensic chemistry. What does the term forensics mean? It means something suitable for use in a court of law or to public debate. In fact, my high school debate team was called the forensic team. For us, we're going to care about forensic science, and this is the application of scientific knowledge to legal concerns. Forensics has many facets. You can even have forensic accounting. So someone goes through and sees where perhaps the errant spouse has siphoned off money. But we will look at only a few in the realm of chemistry. We're going to look at DNA, chemical reagents, toxicology, and analytical techniques. There's a lot of extraneous, not extraneous, but more than I need you to be able to give me on an exam. So I'm going to put red wherever I need you to have the information ready for an exam. What do they do? Well, I don't know if you watch CSI, but one of them is supposed to be an ex-stripper, and that probably would not happen. Everything in CSI is kind of a little suspect because they go out and go to the site and do all sorts of interesting things that forensic chemists, unfortunately or fortunately, do not get to do. But they have many different job skills that are important. They will look at and analyze arson materials, firearm materials, documents, tires, tool marks, of course fingerprints, and then bite marks, shoe marks are also in evidence. And this is all based upon something called the Cards Principle that says that anytime things get in contact with each other, there's always going to be exchange of something, whether it's dirt, sweat, fibers, hair, paint, or skin, and the list is even longer. What they're saying is you may find typo to blood, and then when someone commits a crime, you go and look for the evidence, right? So you find typo blood. Big deal. 45% of Americans have this. Then blonde hair is also found. Okay. And then footprints. Oh, here we go. They've got a distinctive trend. You put them all together. Supposedly, you can find a person who fits this. This principle is called the theory of discernible uniqueness. All the pieces of evidence are based upon linkage to one person or object to the exclusion of all others. And this has been the basis of forensic science for a long time, but it's undergoing a paradigm shift because the traditional methods have a horrible error rate because they're based a lot of it on the expert witness and their subjective opinion. What brought this about was the adoption of DNA, which is scientifically defensible, and it has led to the quantifying and justifying of this discernible uniqueness. And they're doing that from everything from tires marks to fingerprints. Just check this out. This is a bad slide, but it's an interesting. This is an old slide about some cases where DNA has exonerated people, gotten people out of jail. Eyewitness stinks. Notice it's not 100%, meaning that more than one factor goes into a wrongful conviction. But this is what I'm looking for. Scientific science, 63%. Testing errors, and then misleading or false testimony by forensic scientists. It's time to put a more scientific stamp on these. All right, so you look for genetic material, you extract it, and initially people were really bad at this and it took forever. Today it's the hallmark of scientifically sound identification by which all other things are measured. Okay, what is this stuff? It's the hereditary material in humans and almost all other organisms. You know, you got DNA in trees. It's not as complicated as in humans, but its role, okay, here's a red one, so know this please. Its role is long-term storage of genetic instructional information used in the development and function of all known living things. Phew! And it's made up of long polymers made from repeating units of chemical building blocks, and these building blocks are called nucleotides. Think of the amino acids building blocks of proteins. It's just the same idea. Nucleotides have three parts. They got a phosphate group, which is PO43-, a sugar group, and then this is what I need you to appreciate. It's also made up of only 4 types of nitrogen bases. And we give them a single letter. Plus, these guys are coupled. A with T, C with G, we call these base pairs. And from this, we build a DNA. You've probably heard the term double helix. I need you to know what this is. It's arranged in 2 spirals, long strands. It's like a ladder. The base pair forming the ladder's rungs. And guess what's holding them together? Woohoo! Hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding. Just like we saw between water. Very neat. Okay, there's only 2 types of base pairs, right? The AT and the GS. So, 99.9% of any 2 humans' DNA is identical. That final 1.1% variation makes all the difference. And just like amino acids, remember there are only 20 naturally occurring amino acids to make up, well, let's see, 50,000 proteins in the human body, and I cannot remember, I think it was 10 million currently known in the world. But it's this order. For example, the sequence ATCGTT might instruct for blue eyes, and the other one might instruct just one change right here. Says brown eyes. Why is it important? It contains instructions. You probably know this, needed for an organism to develop, survive, reproduce. To carry out these functions, DNA sequences must be converted into messages, and these messages are used to produce proteins, how to build the building block of the amino acids. So each DNA sequence contains instructions to make a protein, and that's known as a gene. You have different kinds of DNA. Well, we'll get into that a little bit later, but these are specific for the genes. The size of a gene may vary greatly, ranging from about 1,000 base pairs to 1,000,000. A chromosome is a packet of many DNA. And we got the enzymes, they read them, they translate them into RNA, and then the RNA tells the amino acids how to link with each other to make a protein. And there we have it again, 50,000 different proteins comprised from only 20 amino acids. Absolutely amazing. How does it replicate? You got, remember the ASE means a enzyme. You got all these guys working together. So this one unspirals. This one cuts it cuts down the base pairs. And then remember, since the guy only couples with one other kind of base, it knows how to replicate itself. And these are called the daughters. And then it comes back and makes it spiral again. Pretty neat. Okay.